All right, let's dive into an idea that might just change the way you look at your goals. It's a simple premise, but it's a really powerful one. What if motivation isn't the problem at all? What if the real secret is something else entirely? Discipline. Let's get into it.
So, let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we all know. That feeling of being completely stuck. You have these big goals, these things you really want to do, but you're just not making any progress. The wheels are spinning, but you're not going anywhere.
And when we feel that way, what's our go-to explanation? It's usually this, right? We tell ourselves, ugh, I'm just not motivated enough today. We treat motivation like this gas tank in our car, and, well, it's just running on empty.
But what if that whole idea is just wrong? And that brings us to our first big concept here, the motivation myth. We're going to take a closer look at this belief and see why it might actually be the very thing that's holding you back.
Here's the absolute truth about motivation. It's a feeling, and just like any other feeling, it's totally unreliable. It comes and it goes. Relying on motivation to get things done is kind of like expecting it to be sunny every single day. It's just not going to happen.
Just think about your own life, right? One day you wake up totally on fire, ready to take on the world. And the next, you might just feel tired or distracted or maybe just not interested at all. And that's not some personal failure. That's just being human.
And this right here is the key. The real mistake isn't that you lack motivation. The mistake is believing you have to feel motivated, that you have to feel ready before you're allowed to take action. We sit around waiting for this green light from our emotions, but sometimes that light just never comes.
So this leads us to the real heart of the problem. It's a choice, really. A choice between what we're going to let guide us, our unpredictable feelings, or something a whole lot more stable. And that stable alternative, it's discipline. I love this way of thinking about it. If motivation is the flashy sprinter who's super exciting for a short burst, discipline is the marathon runner. It's that quiet, steady force that just shows up and does the work, especially on the days motivation decides to call in sick.
Let's just break this down side by side. Motivation, it totally relies on your emotions. It comes and goes. It's always waiting to feel ready. Discipline, though, that's a different story. It's guided by your direction, by a choice you made. It shows up every day. And it starts not because it feels good, but because you decided it was necessary.
And really, that's the bottom line. When you have a clear direction, a clear reason why you're doing something, that is so much more powerful than any fleeting feeling of being tired or bored. Your direction is what moves you forward, no matter how you feel. So, what does this quiet force actually look like in real life? It's not about being super strict with yourself or becoming some kind of robot. No, it's something way more subtle and, honestly, way more powerful. This is such a game-changing way to think about it. We all love those lightning bolt moments of inspiration, but real growth, the kind that actually lasts, that happens in the quiet, unglamorous moments. It happens when you show up, even when you really don't want to. It happens when you do the work anyway. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you build discipline? It can feel like this massive, intimidating thing. But the good news is you don't build it with some huge, heroic act. You build it with tiny, consistent actions. The whole process really just boils down to these 3 simple steps. First, you have to truly decide that this goal, it matters. You have to commit to it. Second, you take one small, manageable action, not a giant leap, just a little step. And third, and this is the magic part, you repeat it. You do it again the next day and the day after that. Decide, act, repeat. It's that simple. So you put in all this quiet, consistent effort. What's the payoff? What does discipline actually build over time? Well, the results are pretty amazing, and they tend to stack on top of each other, one layer at a time. The first thing that changes is on the inside. Every single time you keep a small promise to yourself, you're building self-trust. Your confidence stops being about what other people think and starts growing from the inside out, based on the proof of your own actions. Then, as you keep repeating these small actions day after day, something incredible happens. They become automatic. They turn into habits. Suddenly, you're not fighting with yourself every day to do the thing. It just becomes part of what you do. Your whole baseline just gets better.
And the grand result of all of this? Stability. A life that's built on the solid foundation of your actions instead of the shifting sands of your feelings just feels more secure. It feels more grounded. It feels more like you're in the driver's seat.
And let's be really clear about something. No one's going to throw you a parade because you did your 15 minutes of work when you were tired. This isn't the flashy part. It's not the exciting part. But it is the engine of all real progress. This is the part that actually works. So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with this one question. Forget about motivation. Forget about waiting until you feel like it. What is one small thing you will do today simply because you have decided that it matters?